Hello and good evening to my fellow citizens. Chris, how's it going, buddy?
So serious. Good. Good. Happy
Yes.
podcast day. That was too soon.
Yep. I got more coming. So hello to the YouTube channel. Thank you guys very much for joining us. Almost at 400 subscribers, Chris. The number one comment we get is kind of a complisol. They're like, "You guys are awesome, but you must suck at marketing because you don't have any subscribers."
Yeah. Why is it?
Hey,
why aren't you famous?
To the pod, guys. Yeah.
Why aren't you famous? Yeah.
So thank you for those compliments, guys. We're growing, and Chris and you and I think we're successful because we understand things don't happen overnight, and you just gotta grind.
That's true. I've been at it for a while. Jason, I got a teaser for the guys that for YouTube listeners.
Yep.
This is an exclusive. This is a YouTube exclusive. I have a joke for you to lead off before we start the podcast. So, Jason, I don't know if you heard, but the Pentagon is changing the nuclear codes to over 280 characters. Did you hear about that? That's so that Trump can't tweet it. Yeah. Real, that's true. True story. True story. So there you go, guys. I'm not going to say that one on the podcast. You will only hear it on YouTube.
Could you handle that, Chris? If you had the codes, if you
I don't know. I don't know what I'd handle. Probably not. Uh-oh. Jason is gone. It's just me.
Back.
It's just me. No, you're back.
Hey, I was going to ask you, could you that was a good start.
I'm glad.
Good thing we're not recording the audio yet.
Yeah, good thing this is actually the podcast. Guys, you are seeing it uncut and raw. Sorry. Skip forward a little bit if you're bored.
No, they're watching us pack the fudge. Chris, make the sausage.
Right.
That's how the sausage is made, how the fudge is packed.
Okay, say that.
You never heard that saying?
Advertiser friendly here. You can't say.
You never heard that saying?
Yes, but not in that context.
Oh. No, like how the fudge is packed, how the sausage is made.
Not the first one. That's not what. Yes, the sausage, but
oh, I've literally heard that a lot in this context.
Okay, no, you haven't.
No, I wasn't trying to say anything. Chris, I was going to ask you, could you handle that if you were the nuclear football guy? Do you think you could handle that position? Are you made of that kind of steel?
No.
If I said you could be president in 10 years, would you take the offer?
Oh, absolutely not.
You would not?
No. Would you?
A lot of insights here. A lot of pressure, huh? I don't know. There's pros and cons, but it'd be fun for a day. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, gosh. Okay. Well, I don't think it'd be fun at all.
Well, that's why you're the president of the Paid Search podcast.
Am I co-president? The co-president?
And I'm your VP. So, yes! Yes. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Paid Search podcast, episode number 82. Doing what you do. Chris Schaefer, I love to see that smile. My name is Jason Rothman. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Chris Schaefer. Chris, welcome back to the podcast.
Yeah, you visibly shook on that one. It's been a while since I've seen you visibly shake whenever you do your yes. That's old school there. That's hardcore.
Old school.
Jason.
Sometimes, Chris, you just gotta rev yourself up. You know what I'm saying, man?
Giving it his all.
Woo! So, Chris, we are back, and oh my gosh, man, part 5 of this build. It's a good thing. Builds in reality don't take this long. They don't take 5 weeks, but we are grinding it out, and we're getting to the climax here. But before that, let's go over a little housekeeping. Number one, we have a link to the build in the form of Excel where we're pasting all the keywords, all the ads, all the negative keywords. I have a problem with conflict, Chris. You forgot to post the message extension in there. And I feel like I can't tell you that one-on-one, so I'm going to tell you here on the show.
Tell it to me live? Great. Okay. I don't see how public shaming is worse than private, but okay, I'm sorry about that.
So please add that, and I would add it, but someone didn't give me access. So
oh, you don't have access?
No, but I kind of like you doing it. But anyway, anyway, we see you guys on there every time we log on there, Chris. There's like 4 or 5 people on there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We've got a link in the show notes, so check that out. And like I said last week, Chris, if someone is in the dental AdWords space and has a lot of dental clients, man, you hit pay dirt because you can just sucker and
gold. Yeah, just build a template and go with it. You're welcome. Send us a check. But Jason, we appreciate all the all the love that we've been getting in forms of reviews. The reviews have really shot up. So if this is okay, I'd like to spotlight 2 reviews this week from our podcast. There's been more, but we want to get to the meat of this. But first, we want to thank everyone for reviewing the podcast. It really does help us. It helps us show up higher in the Google results. We got to get those other podcasts that don't give you the AdWords meat like we deliver. And so I want to say thanks to Mint Chip Spaceship. Great name, first of all. It says, thanks for putting together an entertaining but also very informative podcast full of valuable insights. I really enjoy listening to you guys while I mow the lawn and soon shovel the snow. Keep up the great work. So Mint Chip, you missed a spot. So there you go. All right. So got another one from, sorry if I say this wrong, Harpel Kochar. Awesome show, Jason and Chris. In just 1 week, I've listened to 18 of your podcasts. Boy, He knows our voices well. I barely knew much about SEM when I started, and now I feel like I am a Rambo of the trade, ! Your past shows are always with me on hikes, bedtime listening, and in my car. Wow, we're with him everywhere. Him, her. Probably him. I can't thank you enough for all I have learned with this. P.S. I got to add the P.S. P.S. I saw your faces on YouTube, and both of you are just as I imagined. Chris is clearly the better looking one. Thank you very much. I totally agree with you.
I agree with that.
Definitely true.
You've got just that all-American look, and you're Chris. Honestly, you're a great-looking guy. Hey, everybody, watch what's going to happen. Chris is about to get uncomfortable and red.
Yeah.
But Chris, the only exception I'll take with that is I would say overall you're better looking, and more people would find you the better looking one overall. But for some that find me better looking, I think the attraction would be deeper on average. I think when I'm someone's type, I'm their type.
You
deeper.
are their
Is
type.
that fair?
That's true, because you have skills in areas that I have nothing in. For instance, the beard growing. Jason, if I tried to grow a beard, I would look like an absolute scrub. But if you like beards, you think they look very masculine and strong. Guys, I'm not there. I don't have it.
Right. And another thing I've found with the ladies is when you look deep in my eyes, Chris, like for a long time and deep, they see a lot of pain in there. They like to take care of, and
wow,
it attracts a certain kind of lady. But hey,
very
maybe
needy, emotionally needy. Yeah. Is that what you are?
Not emotionally needy, just a lot of pain that needs love, and some like to give it. But anyway, so Chris, my good looking, and by the way, I'm the one that pronounced your good looks on here. I was early on that bandwagon.
You called it, Thank you so much. Yeah. So, all right, let's move on.
Let's move way on. Chris, today we're talking about ad copy, and no pun intended, we're talking about attraction, getting people to click on your ads. And we're going to kind of break this down into 2 conversations. Number 1 is the process. Number 2 is how to make your ads stand out. And why don't you kick us off here? Let me just ask you, because I'm just going to be honest. I've always done ads, but I didn't have a good way of describing it until Jacob from Disruptive came on our show and really laid it out in what I'm about to talk about. But I had never really verbalized it, Chris. I didn't have a good way of describing what I do. But he really kind of nailed it. And now that's the way I go about describing how I do ad copy. But what's your process?
Well, I agree. Jacob definitely put a a very nice touch on the way that he described writing ad copy and writing ads. But I'll tell you, previously, before he so eloquently explained the way he does it, what I usually do is I approached it in a manner of what on your website makes you unique. What are you calling out on your website? You know, if there's lots of stuff about, you know, your cheap prices or your affordability or your discounts, obviously that's the kind of language I'm going to use in the ads. If it's about your professionalism, your expert abilities, you know, your services are above everything else, that's what I'm going to call out in the ads. Right. Typically, I just go with whatever theme I see, you know, on the website, because for me, it all has to be connected. The ad copy has to be connected to the landing page, and it needs to be a, you know, a unilateral experience from ad copy to landing page. You don't want to have any a massive shift in the language or the interest from one to the other.
That's a great point, Chris. And not to get too personal here, but if anyone's seen your freelance profile out there, if someone's going for the low cost, affordable option, you're not their guy. But if they're going for the top quality in the planet on AdWords, that's you. And I think you and I are both in that boat. And we have the way our little freelance businesses have worked out is a good example of how every business works out. You kind of create a persona, a different kind of niche within a service. You and I are both kind of the upper echelon of AdWords freelancer service. A dentist, now dentist is a little weird because you're not going to promote yourself as a cheap dentist, I don't think, because most people people just want good dental service.
Yeah, some things you just don't want to get cheap on. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, but I like the way, and I'm going to take that and run with it, Chris. When I do ads going forward, I like the way you kind of put a persona on a business. Like, what are they going for? What's the overall feel? How are they presenting themselves on their website? And you carry that over to the ad copy, because you make a great point. Ad copy needs to meet the website. Because what if you're selling cars and you're like, the lowest discount cars, and then you take them to like a Mercedes or Lexus dealership site?
Yeah,
it
doesn't
make sense.
It doesn't matter if you are a manager that's paid to build an ad campaign for a company, or you work for the company directly, or you are the company. No matter what, the website is going to have a ton of thought and preparation and design and language and copy designed to get a specific message across. And I don't try and reinvent the wheel, right? I mean, there's obviously been some clients spend months and months and thousands of dollars to make sure that a certain message is very clear on their website. And, you know, why reinvent the wheel whenever, you know, what should be in your ad copy is typically very plainly visible right on that landing page or homepage or whatever it is that you're sending them to.
Chris, you don't work for a lot of movers, do you?
Well,
because that is not what's going on with their websites. Unfortunately, we run into the issue all the time. People think they're just not website people, and they throw up template image or stock images, and it's like, hey, what do we have to go on here? I mean, like, what do you offer that's different? But yeah, you definitely, and that's a good wake up call for anyone listening, Chris. If you go to your website and you can't tell, like, are you the low cost option? Are you the fast, affordable option? Are you the premium option? Like, it should be clear from your own website. So, Chris, I love that, looking at the website to get a feel for what kind of ads you should have. And then I also like what we talked about with Jacob was define the buyer persona, come up with examples of the people clicking on your ads or seeing your ads. What are their problems? Come up with solutions for those problems. And you got your ad copy.
Yeah, Jason's come up with a couple different examples of personas that we're going to go through. And Jason, I think this is great. You've got two people with specific lifestyles and demographics that are going to be different from each other, and how we might approach those people in our ad copy, and how one type of ad copy might speak to one person but not the other. So, Jason, you want to introduce our first contestant in the want to go to Sweetums Dental?
Come on down, Sue Ann. I had a little image in my mind of The Price is Right.
Yeah, I like it.
Calm down. So Sue Ann is 41. She's got the hardest job. She's a full-time mom, a mother of 3. She lives in the suburbs in Plano, married, and they're upper middle class, Chris. And
the husband's doing well.
Doing well. You know, not retiring, not rich, but definitely doing well. And saving $20 on a dental exam hasn't crossed her mind ever.
Right.
So she's definitely not in the market to compete on cost or anything like that. Now, here are her problems, Chris. Number one, she's got no time. Scheduling takes forever. Every time she has to do something for her 3 kids, because it's not just one, it's 3. It takes forever, whether it's getting them signed up for school, parent-teacher conferences, getting doctor's appointments, signing them up for sports, going and buying food, going and buying sports equipment, whatever. Stuff always takes forever. And when she thinks about finding a new dentist, she's worried about getting signed up on the process. She's worried about scheduling taking forever because she doesn't have time. How she spends 50 minutes a day on Facebook, I don't know.
Right.
She doesn't have time. Number 2, another problem, Chris, that's the same. She doesn't have time, but it's for a different reason. Her kids are busy during the week. They have school. Okay, that starts at 8 a.m. You got to leave the house at 7:15, 7:30. After school, they have practices and hobbies. They're not getting home until 6. And then when do you have time to take your kid to the dentist? And not just one kid, again, 3. So it's the same problem, but it's a problem for a different reason because her kids are so busy. She has no time. And then her third problem, Chris, she's worried about her kids' health. She's mama bear. She wants the best for them. And so she doesn't want just some shady dentist or someone she's not familiar with. She really, really wants to know that the person that she's going to let work on her kids' dental health is the highest quality that Plano has to offer. Yeah. So why don't you walk us through these solutions and let me know what you think of them?
Yeah. So I think these are really relatable, Jason. I think this seems Sue-Ann is so real to me. She's just in flesh and blood. I can see it. She's stressed. So no time for scheduling, right? Immediately, the first thing I think of was Speedham Dental, our fictional client that we're building for. They offer online scheduling. She can schedule from her phone. Sue-Ann loves her iPhone and she uses it every day. And in showing in the ad copy that someone can schedule online, I think is absolutely a headline item. Headline 1, definitely, at least headline 2, definitely going to be in the headlines. I would not put that in the description line, the lower lines. Right. This is an important point for her. So online scheduling, schedule your appointment online, schedule your appointment with your phone, or you don't have to call. But basically, the shortest way you can describe this in a headline ad copy, I think this is important. So that's the first thing. Scheduling takes forever. Perfect. The way that we can fix that problem is describing that we can schedule appointments online. Number 2, no time during the week. Kids go to school. Open on Saturdays. I think the way I'm envisioning an ad here just says schedule an appointment. It says like local Plano dentist, open Saturdays, schedule online, or appointments, book appointment online, right? I'm not sure if that all fits, but that's how I'm envisioning those 2 points both being hit in one ad in the headline. I think that's a beautiful ad. I think it could work really well. You hit the Plano point, you hit the scheduling online point, and the Saturday point, all right there. Go ahead.
I just want to let everyone know, Chris, all these ads are going to be online at the link in the description. We're going to have all the ads tied to the ad groups, and Chris is going to make those for us.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for giving me that job. I definitely
that opportunity.
Yes, opportunity to grow and make.
And I do it as your subordinate. I get enough for you, but I know I can never do it as good as you.
Yeah, it's good as me. Yeah, that's the problem with being just the best looking, I guess. So, all right. So, finally, Jason, Sue-Ann, she loves her kids. She might be a helicopter mom. She might she might coddle them a little too much. She might really, just devote a bit too much of her time and effort into making sure they're safe. But you know what? It's important to her. And so she's worried about the dentist being good for kids, good for a dentist that knows
that has patience.
Thank you. A dentist that has patience with kids, that knows how to approach kids. The pediatric type of terms. Maybe she didn't search pediatric, but maybe she searched something, local Plano dentist for families or something like that. What we want to do is we want to make sure that she feels comfortable and that this is a dentist that she knows that she can trust. So language like, we've served over 2,000 Plano families, serving Plano for 15 years. These are call to actions that would describe that this person is very comfortable, well-established, and has no issues providing a wide variety of services in the area. So this is something I put maybe more in the description line. I think it would work really well for, a couple points for that longer description line. And that's it. Sue Ann, done. Immediate click. And that fits what she's looking for, and she's happy.
Yeah. And Chris, just put yourself in all the other dental advertisers out there in Plano. How many of them do you think are actually sitting down, naming one of their customers, writing down her problems, and then coming up with solutions before they just go into AdWords and go dentist in Plano?
Yeah.
Yeah. Really makes a difference.
And I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, look at your search terms and look at some of the top clicked terms, the top click keywords, and you'll see they don't typically give a lot of information about what is actually their pain point, right? Sue Ann would not search, I don't have a lot of time, I need to get a dentist appointment for my kids, right? It's basically Plano dentist. That's what she searched. But in reality, what she really has a problem with is these things that this dentist can provide solutions to. So their search terms aren't going to give you clues. This is going to be the kind of thing you have to sit down and think, what pain points can this dentist fix by, what pain points can my service, my business fix that people would have. So, and describe that in the language. So,
right now, our second buyer persona, our second customer is different. It's a man in a different economic class. But before I get into it, Chris, I just want to let people know, some people might ask, well, okay, if this guy's so different than the mom, how do you make ads for both people? And as you go deeper and deeper into AdWords, if you want to, you can create, because of demographics now, Chris, one campaign for women, age whatever to whatever, one campaign for men. And now you're skeptical. You don't look as good looking when you put that skeptical face on. But I mean, what do you think about that, Chris? Is that going too far? So let me ask you, if that is going too far, how do you make ads for, and I have a good answer because I think you're going to have the same. How do you make ads for two different types of people without breaking it up into different campaigns?
Well, I mean, honestly, I just build multiple ads in a campaign.
Don't speak. I know what you're saying.
Okay.
No doubt, Lyric. Now, Chris, I know what you're saying, but I have a better way of verbalizing it because I just thought about it. You and we don't do the gender thing in campaigns. I just want to throw it out there as an option. Generally, we don't do that. Here's why. Because we throw stuff at the wall and we see what sticks. We put up different ad copy, some ads to the mom, some ads to the guy I'm about to speak about. And then we just see what works in terms of click-through rate. And we let the data speak for itself. Is that a good way of verbalizing it, Chris? And then that tells us, okay, maybe the vast majority of our clicks are coming from moms with those problems, or maybe they're coming from the guy we're about to speak about with his problems. We just let the data answer questions like that.
Right. I think by making a persona, I don't think that advertisers should focus on the fact that this is a female, or that this is a middle class, or this is a woman above her 40s or something like that. What you should really focus on is what problems come to mind, and then universalize those, because our next person may not have the same problems. But the person after that may have the same problems, but they may be a completely different type of demographic.
Right.
So make generalizations and then apply those to the ads. I would hate to see someone build a campaign based on personas. people, this is Google. This is not Facebook. You're not able to define your audience at small subcategories of demographics and stuff like that, and then write your ads according to that. This is people searching in the moment, and you have to make larger generalizations about those issues.
And half the traffic is unknown. It'll come in the unknown category. Google won't know if it's a man or woman. But here's the thing, Chris. If you are having a ton of conversion success with women, age whatever, you can view that once you start running your campaign in the demographic area. And then if the data calls for it, then you can split things out if you want to. But there's no need to do it right from the jump.
Yeah.
Now, our next person here is Joe, the plumber. He's 45, girlfriend, no kids. He dated a nice girl he went to college with for 7 years in his 20s. He thought she was the one. They thought they were going to have kids. They ended up not having kids. And now he's found a nice girl who's his girlfriend, but no interest in kids. He's a self-employed plumber, solidly middle class, Chris. And he will let the politicians know about it. Joe the plumber.
Yeah. So I get the reference. Oh, I get the reference. I get it. Are you just gonna leave it?
No, it's just so long ago. I don't know why.
It was Joe the plumber. I get it. What it was it Bush? It was or Obama.
2008.
Obama.
2008. Yeah. No time. So this guy Joe, he's got two problems. He's got no time for a dentist because he's out there working. Because he's a self-employed plumber. His second problem is, and notice, Chris, what you're saying. Both him and the mom have no time.
Yep. There you go.
Common theme here. Yep. Common theme. His second problem, and I thought this was maybe a little too niche down, Chris, but I thought it spoke to me about dentist offices. He hasn't regularly gone to a dentist. Maybe he needs a little encouragement to get over that hump there and actually schedule an appointment. And it's been maybe 5-10 years since he's been to a dentist. I would never do something like that, Chris. I have great teeth. By the way, that's one thing I do have. I have great teeth.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. Look into his eyes and look into his mouth and fall in love.
Never needed braces and naturally white.
Never needed braces.
Never needed braces.
Wow.
Can't see 2 feet in front of me. Never needed braces. And didn't have to go through that as a teenager because it looks rough, Chris. All that metal in your mouth. And,
oh yeah, I can tell you from personal experience.
Yeah. Now. Solutions to those problems, Chris. What do we come up with here? All
right. So obviously the no time for dentist. I really like Jason. Jason came up with this idea. I have to give you credit because I like this. This is a really nice, I think this is a double headline ad here. Get a full cleaning and x-ray in under 1 hour. Right. I think, people think that maybe going to the dentist is an issue. They're like, I don't want to deal with all this. It's going to take a long time. I don't have time for all this. I like that call to action. Get a full cleaning and x-ray in under 1 hour. Everything you need, full service in under 1 hour. Giving that time frame, and that will get you in and out quickly. I think that's great. I like that idea, and I could definitely see that even working for Sue Ann as well.
Yep.
So next one. Joe, the plumber, has not gone to the dentist very often. He's a bit timid. He's like, they're going to pull something. This tooth has been hurting. This is going to cost $1 million. I tell you what, that's one pain point we haven't talked about is price. And dentists, you know what? It costs what it costs. If your teeth are going to fall out, you don't go to cheapo. You go to you go to someone who can help you out. So that's probably one pain point we're not going to be able to approach for the dentist. But maybe financing, that might be a good way to.
I just don't want to think about it. You got to pay for the dentist.
Yeah, I mean, you're still paying.
I mean, why do we make him work? And you got to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
It's just honestly, it's something I can't relate to because I buy dental insurance. It's not that much money a year.
Yeah,
and it pays for the checkup. So I don't think I'm out of touch on this one. I sometimes I say things to my girlfriend. I'm like, doesn't everybody have a Mercedes? And she's like, no, but I mean, people go to the dentist, right? Like,
yeah.
Dental insurance. Okay.
I considered it very important. Yes, definitely.
AdWords managers go to the dentist.
So Joe doesn't. He's one of the few that doesn't, and he has a problem. He said, so the language that Jason's written up here is, haven't been to a dentist in a while, ? No problem. Get back on track with Sweetums Dental. All right. So this is a full full ad that covers headline and description. And basically, you're going to start with a reflexive question at the top of the ad. Okay, reflexive questions means they search for local dentist, and then you ask them, haven't been to the dentist in a while. You're asking a question, and then you answer it in the description.
Now,
This
Chris,
is a very common method that
I get a lot of pushback from clients on this method, I got to say, and I want your opinion on this. They think it's stupid. They think, okay, if someone's searching for that, why would you ask if they're searching for it? And I tell them, well, I've been told by people at Google, always try a question. Just try a question ad and see if it works.
Well, I mean, I think the thing is, if there's only so many ways that you can say that we're a dentist in Plano. Right? If there's 15 of these ads out there, how in the heck are you going to look any different? There's only so many ways you can say it. So using language like, X-ray in and under an hour, be in and out quickly, online scheduling, this kind of stuff, a reflexive question like this makes your ad stand out. And that's what you really want, because click-through rate, ladies and gentlemen, click-through rate makes a difference in quality score. It is a factor in quality score. And you get good click-through rates, you can get better quality scores, and it all comes down. Here's one thing. I don't know if I've said this in a while. I'm going to drop a truth bomb. Okay, I'm getting excited. Okay, I know. Jason, we spent all this time. How many episodes are we in on this build?
80, number 5.
5, Jason. Do you know how much of those other podcast people are going to see when they search for this dentist, this fictional dentist? Do you know how much of that campaign people are going to see so far of what we've done other than this episode? 0. They don't see anything of the campaign until they see the ad. You can have the best keywords. You can have the best settings. You can have the best negative keywords. You can have geographic targeting out the butt. And then what do they see? They see your ad copy. And then if it's crap, if it looks like everybody else's, they don't click. You can have amazing research and build out, and it doesn't matter unless your ad copy is unique and it's creative.
Are you saying ad copy is more important than finding 500 long tail keywords?
Specifically for that, yeah, I am. And email me about it, and you show me somebody who's investing in $500 a huge amount of 500 long tail keywords, and I'll show you an AdWords manager that's eventually going to go out of business. So, I mean, that's tough words there, but I absolutely believe it. I've been there. I like it. I know it's true.
All right. Well, the second solution here to his hasn't gone to the dentist regularly. Your dental health matters. Get on our twice-a-year plan now. Schedule online. Yeah. What I'm trying to do there, Chris, I'm trying to hit him where it hurts. I'm trying to make him feel bad about himself. Honestly, trying to make him feel some regret. Get emotional here. Like, your dental health matters. But it does matter. But here's our solution. You can get on an easy twice-a-year plan, and from now on out, you'll be fine. You'll be taken care of. Schedule online.
Yeah. All right. So, Jason, what we've done is we've created a persona. We have 2 different people that have different issues, and we've talked about how to address those. I think what we want to do is come at this from a different angle and talk about what are ways to make your ad stand out. We've already covered one. Reflexive questions. Basically, that's just a fancy term for asking the person a question about what they just searched for. Local dentist, local Plano dentist. Oh, looking for a dentist in Plano? ? That's all it is. Okay. So reflexive questions is one. Another one is using percentages or numbers or prices in your ad. Okay.
Right.
This is something I do all the time. I try and say, something like 10% off or 100% free shipping. I mean, that's a really silly way to say it, but the 100% makes it sound even more like it's free shipping. There's no such thing as 99% free shipping, but saying that 100% free shipping kind of makes it pop a little bit more, has a little more authority. 100% guarantee. A guarantee should always be 100%, but 100% guarantee really makes that pop. So prices, these all matter in the ad copy, and that's kind of the idea there, is to use prices and reflexive questions in there. Jason, you got any more to add to the list?
Just double down on prices. Like if I work with a lot of movers, and someone does a search for mover, and everyone's ad says low prices, call now. There's a lot of mystery there, and they all seem kind of sketchy and not believable. But if one guy's out there saying $100 an hour, at least you have some reference point, and you build some trust with the customer. Specific benefits, Chris, that the list is endless because every business has its own specific benefits, but getting as specific as possible. I just go back to solutions. Like always provide solutions to people's problems, and people are only searching because they have a problem. So if you actually provide the solution, your ad will stand out compared to others people's that just call themselves the best whatever in town. A couple more, Chris. Everyone likes call to actions. I like giving reasons why they should do a call to action. So for like this one would be, instead of just call now to schedule your appointment. Or
I like that.
So I like that, always giving a reason. And then we always want to, I think people get a little too carried away with making sure the keywords in the ad copy. But you still want to at least use the keyword or be somewhat close to it. And just really make sure that your ad's on point to that keyword. So we have an emergency dentist ad group. In that ad group, we're going to talk about emergency dental services and an emergency dentist for sure. So you want to make sure the keyword is somewhere in the ad if possible. And then, Chris, I think when people see the build out in the Excel sheet format, they're really going to see how having a simpler structure with fewer ad groups really gives you the time to customize the ads to that ad group, those problems, as opposed to just 50 ad groups and you can't really customize if you have that much on your plate.
Yeah, definitely. So one thing I want to point out here is we've basically said it in a couple different ways, but believe it or not, there might be some ads in this build out or ads that you come up with that don't actually have more the keyword itself more than one time. Maybe it's just one time in the headline. Maybe it says Plano dentist, and then it talks about open on Saturdays and scheduling online and all this stuff. Whereas you might see other ads that really push the keyword, trying to say, local dentist, teeth cleaning, like just over and really try and push that keyword volume as if there's a percentage that they can somehow fulfill and improve their ad just by saying the word dentist over and over again. So I think some people might be surprised, because keep in mind, there are two battles to win. Battle number one is to make sure that Google thinks you're relevant, that the Google bot is happy. Meet the best standard practices. Number two is to always make sure that humans are involved in the way that you write your ads. Make them appealing to people, make them appealing to the people that are reading it, and you'll win both sides.
Now, Chris, I hadn't thought about this until now. I think we're done with the build.
Wow. Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess so. Congratulations. I'd shake your hand, but I can't. So
now, Chris, that said, we are done with the build. I guess you and I will be in the lab trying to figure out how we can manage a campaign and get results to talk about. We're going to have to figure something out, because I feel people are wanting that,
Yeah. Just to give you guys an insight, I mean, Jason and I would really love to take you guys to the next step. Optimize a campaign live, talk about the results, but even share videos and screenshots and stuff like that. But it's difficult because you can't run an AdWords campaign. You can't get clicks unless you spend money. So I guess we'll start a GoFundMe. Everybody's pay $100 and we'll launch a campaign for 3 months. And you guys can just pay for a fake website. That's probably not going to work. But
yeah, anyway, we probably shouldn't do that.
We got some ideas, but at this point,
Yeah, we got ideas. We might, we might approach a dentist and manage their campaign live on here
for free.
Yeah, for free. That would be the way to do it. It's not going to happen next week. We're going to put this on the shelf and we'll see how it goes.
Maybe there's a listener out there that's willing to have their AdWords broadcast out to everyone for management by 2 AdWords managers that are pros. For the value of getting it done by us, but also not having to pay. But it's also shared with everyone. So possibility, we'll see what, excuse me, we'll see what's out there. And we really appreciate the feedback you guys given us on this. We know that you've really loved this, and we're going to try and really double down and make sure that we can provide more solid content like this on a regular basis.
Yeah. And Chris, this isn't the last live build out we'll do. We've got plans to do more. If there's a certain industry you want to see, let us know. And if we hear that over and over, we'll probably build out that industry. So thank you guys very much for being a part of this live build out 5-part series. It's always going to be there for you. We're going to have the link in the description that's going to stay up, and you can access this build. If you have any questions, leave us a comment at paidsearchpodcast.com. And Chris, we will be back next week with some more top-notch quality AdWords content. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time on the Paid Search Podcast.